this pump here failing me on a camping trip, and I'll put a link to that video up here. Hopefully it's in that corner. If not, it'll be in that corner, and also put it in the description below the video. So what happens is, this has happened a few times to some people that I've seen in some trailer groups. This pump, the water comes in from the tank here, goes in the pump, and then it flows through the pump right here up into this filter housing. Some people have this filter housing, some don't. And then what happens is the check valve will go bad if you're hooked up to city water, which here, city water comes in, and the city water goes here, it goes through the filter, or it could put pressure here and come and go back through here. If the check valve fails in here, some debris gets in it or something, what will happen is it'll allow water to go this way through the pump, back through, and then it'll go back out this way. This is a tank here, and then it'll follow this hose and go fill up your fresh water tank. So you don't want that to happen. And in the video I explained how I made this valve work again very easily in the other video I made. So go back and make sure you watch that. So I wanted to come up with another fix here to make it so that if this fails, I'll have a couple other options to stop water from going and filling my fresh water tank. So I'll be installing a check valve in here, and I'll show you step by step how I do that. And then what I'll do is, I don't want to take my pump apart to show you this check valve in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find one that somebody's taken apart on the internet and show you what the check valve does. So I'll sneak that in here, and then I'm going to go show you the other point where I'm going to help eliminate this problem. If this check valve fails and that check valve fails, what else I can do. So, well, I've looked all over the internet for a pump taken apart to see what the check valve looks like, so I can explain to you how that works and everything. And I can't find anything, so I found a link to a YouTube video that I'll share in the description below for you. So look in the description below, and it's a really good explanation about this pump and how it works and how to prime it and all these things, and the check valve, how to take it apart and look at it, inspect it, and other things. So I'll put a link to that below, okay? Sorry about that. I was hoping to find something where I could just show you what it looks like and point things out. So while I'm here also, I went with this SharkBite check valve. They sell plastic ones on the internet, but I've heard that they can break, and so I prefer brass over that. That's why I went with this SharkBite, and it's well known, so it'll work. And then also with the pressure drop on this, with water going through it, it's roughly 0.1 to 2 on it, on the pressure drop. So this thing doesn't reduce the pressure much, so I wouldn't worry about that much. So check out that link below, and I think you'll really like it. So right now I'm under the trailer, and this hose here is one that comes from the bottom of the fresh water tank here. It pumps through, it goes to the pump, and then pumps into my system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the hose here. I'm going to put a shut-off valve here so that if the check valves fail on me, I'm able to just shut the water off so it doesn't go into the tank from the city water. So obviously if you aren't hooked up to city water and you're just pulling off the tank, you won't have a problem with this tank filling up because it's already full from filling it up instead of using your city water. So I hope you understand that. I don't. Anyway, I'm going to get going here. I'm going to show you some of the materials I'm going to use. Here's the tools and the parts that I'm going to use on my project here. So what I got is I have some cutters to cut some PEX tubing and the other tubing, and then I got side cutters here to cut the zip tie and knife, and then I got, here's my 1/2-inch PEX ball valve that I'm going to install underneath by the tank, the hose that comes off the tank that goes to the pump, and the tools I need to mount it, and my drill with a 7/32 drill bit. And then I got, and by the pump I got, it's a check valve, 1/2-inch check valve that'll slide on the PEX tubing. And then I have a couple couplings, 1/2-inch PEX couplings. And then I got the crimping tool. I bought this on Amazon. It's a relatively good price. I looked at like Home Depot and other places, and they're really expensive. So I got this kit, and it also includes the clamps for it. And then I got this this here. So here's the PEX tubing, and it helps you. You put this here, stick the pipe in here, put a little mark on it, and then when you push it into something, you know that you got it in far enough so it locks in place on the SharkBite. And also what it does, you turn the pipe inside, and it deburrs the edge of it to make some nice clean edge there. So I'm going to get going here, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start underneath by installing this valve right here by the tank. So let's get going under there. Okay, I'm under the trailer by the freshwater tank. I got my valve. What I did was I placed tape on here, and then I laid this out where I want it and marked the holes so you can see, or mark where I want to drill the holes. I found that it's better to put tape on things that are dark, and then you're able to mark it, see it with the tape where you want to drill. And then what I want to do is then I'll cut this here, and I'll connect it here, but it'll be right there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut. I'll cut this little strap here, and my hose will end up going right on the bottom here, and it'll come down to the bottom, which is better than what it's doing right now. So I'm going to go ahead and drill my holes first. I've got the holes drilled and my bolts in here, and I have my nuts up here. And what I've done is I've marked here where it'll go on this ball valve. So just to show you something here, I have, this is the back of the trailer, and so I put the opening of the valve here, so when it's in the open position, this is pointing back. This is the front of the trailer. I didn't want to turn it around the other way so that this handle was in the front, so if something actually flew up off the road, it wouldn't catch this handle if it was pointed this way. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on right now. Now I got it in place. I cut my tubing, I slid it on, but first I put my PEX clamp there and Same with on this side. And the way they work, you'll see this little square here. See that? The clamp, it's hard to do this with one hand. But this here, there's jaws here. They go on it. And then with this device here, you just squeeze it until it's completely shut, and it crimps that down, similar to like this one is. It'll crimp it on there tight, and then once it's all the way tight with this wrench, it'll release off there automatically, and it'll be done. So I'm going to go ahead and clamp those down right now. There we go, all clamped in place. Valve works on, off. They usually sell these valves like this. If you buy them with this bracket on them, it has a bleed valve right here. So if I wanted to bleed it off, water in the line or something like that, I could do that. The ones that don't, let's see, that you don't have this bleed valve, they don't have these brackets on here. I wanted these, so I didn't really need that, but that's what I got. So because it worked best for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go around to the other area by the pump and put on the check valve there. But just so you know, this is a backup in case my check valve at the pump fails. I can just shut this off, and then I don't have to worry about the water coming from the pump back feeding into the tank. So I'm going to leave this open. So I've got this cut off nice and straight. I've taken this here, slide it in there like that. There's a little sharp edge here. Turn it just to clean the edges off of it, the PEX tubing. I've taken, see the pencil mark here? I've marked the depth, so I know that's about 1 inch depth. I have my check valve here, and I'm going to take and push it in there. And then you can see my pencil marks right here. It's gone in all the way. It's tight. So now I'm going to cut it here, and then do the same and put it one over here on this side. So, and then I'll show you from there what I do. Now that I'm at my workbench, I can show you how this PEX tubing clamp works. So I'm going to just put my coupling here on there, and then I'm going to set this in place here and put this on around the middle of the joint there. It takes 2 hands for me anyway. I'm clamping down on it. See it ratcheting in place, and then when it gets to the end, it releases. So there it is. It's nice and tight. I got them on both sides. Now I'm going to go to the trailer and show you what I'm going to do next, how I'm going to install this. Here we are back by the pump. My check valve has a little arrow on it. See the arrow? And so the pump is actually, the water is pumping this way through here into the filter, like I said, and then into the trailer itself to the faucets inside. So I want the direction of the water to flow this way only. I don't want the water to go back. So this valve, it's a check valve, keeps it, the water from flowing backwards through the pump the wrong way. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to figure out where I want this. I'm going to cut the tube and put this on and clamp it, just like I clamped these other PEX clamps here. I'm going to clamp it on there. I'm keeping this, and I could clamp this directly onto this here. I can cut this PEX fitting off here and then just put it on here and not have this coupling at all. but I want it here so it's loose. And if I had it here and it was tight, if something hit it hard, it could snap this plastic. So I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to put it in line so that it can move around and not cause any damage to the pump in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut, and then I'll figure out where I'm going to put the put it up here or down here. So bear with me. I've got one side clamped in place here, nice and tight. I'm going to do something else here while I'm down here. This hose is way too long. It's just kind of going everywhere, and it also causes when this pump's running a little bit of rattle. So I'm gonna it doesn't need to be this long, so it goes from here, and it's a line that comes from the tank, and then it goes around here. So I'm gonna shorten it. I'm gonna cut it down here, and then I'll connect it to here. I'll make it shorter, much shorter, so it's out of the way. So I'm going to do that before I do this here. So I was able to get this check valve in. It's all in, complete. And then here, this line that came from the tank over, I was able to cut out all this hose here. Don't need that. So when I was doing it, let me zoom in here if I can a little bit. When I tried flexing this pipe, this tubing, over to here, it was kinking on me, so I went and got this, it's like a sweep support for 1/2-inch PEX pipe, so that worked real well. I got it zip tied in place, and then it's clamped over there. So this turned out pretty well, I think. It's nice to not have that big old hose laying there anymore. They probably had it long because it was they were having it kink, so they just ran it all over so that it would work. But this works better. So I'm going to go ahead and put hook the water, city water, up to this and see if I have any leaks. So cross your fingers. So I'm all hooked up to city water here. So the water's coming in. I've run it into the faucets inside, so it's pressurized right now. There's no leaks here whatsoever. And then I have the drain valve on my freshwater tank open, and no water's coming out, so both check valves are holding. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put water in the freshwater tank. Sorry about that. Put water in the freshwater tank and disconnect the city water here, and then run water through the pump to make sure there's no leaks this way and make sure everything works. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So a quick refresher here. The city water comes in, goes around, it goes up here, goes in the filter to the trailer faucets, and then it's coming down here, but the check valve is holding it, so it can't go back through the pump, and it can't go through the pump to go back to fill the tank. Plus I have the shut-off valve by the tank, so we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and put some water in my freshwater tank, and then we'll see how it works. While we're waiting for water to go in this tank, I have this set up here to help me fill it. And then I switched from the Camco hose, you might have saw in one of my other videos, to this Flexilla water hose. And I really like it. It's rubberized, it doesn't kink, it's just really nice hose. So I'll put links in the description below of everything that I use here in this project, and this hose and this other fitting here for filling. I'll show you what it looks like. Just looks like that, pretty cheap to purchase. So I'm going to go ahead right now and go over and run the pump and see how it works and make sure nothing's leaking in here in this compartment. Okay, I've got all this pressurized with the pump itself, so, and there's no leaks. So these PEX clamps worked really well. I just wanted to show you a couple things here. On this pump, a while ago, I installed this piece of rubber here and screwed it down to help with vibration in here. And it seems like the vibration has, the tubing and everything has mellowed out a lot since I did this. It quieted this area down a lot. So one other thing on the pump, there's a 10 amp fuse here by the pump. I'm pretty sure that all the pumps in the trailers have a fuse of some sort to the pump itself. So if your pump quits, check this fuse. It's good to carry extra fuses around for everything in the trailer. So I highly recommend that. Anyway, I want to say thank you for watching, everybody. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Feel free to comment. I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can with any questions you might have or comments. So if I don't get back to you right away, that means that I'm out camping somewhere. So, and also, hey, don't forget to subscribe. If you want to see other videos I have as they come out, you'll get notifications of it. So you just hit the subscribe and all, and it'll show all videos, and then also the bell icon. Okay? Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy camping, and take care.